Hey, you guys, welcome back to Bless Your Heart Tarot. You know who I am, Spirit is here. And what we have here, my lovelies, is a timeline collapse, okay? Of it's a karmic timeline collapse for three separate karmic feminine archetypes, okay? Um, work with me, will you? So this first archetype. So first of all, you guys, the end of the year is near, like very, very, very near. Okay, and so a lot of these timelines that you guys have, that we've all been in over the past 5 or 6 years or so, some of us since 2016. Look up your astrology and history and things like that. There's a lot Google can tell you. Okay, are coming to an end. Okay, January 1st, this past year, 2025, I began the age of Aquarius. I've talked about that in my videos. Again, you guys can look that up, okay? Um, so that's why a lot of these timelines are collapsing. Like a lot of these situations are over for real in the 3D. You're not going backwards, okay? The divine is not allowing it, all right? You guys can either stay stuck in karma or well, there is no or. Spirit is going to force you to move forward. It's just that the longer, because Spirit is doing that by collapsing the timeline, it's just that the longer that people resist, men and women, the harder it's just going to be for you. Okay. Um, so with that being said, we're going to start with the first karmic archetype, and I call this one the performer feminine. Okay. This is the Empress, clarified by the Three of Swords. We have the Ten of Pentacles here in the reverse, clarified by Death in reverse. Bottom of the deck, I'm sorry, the Hermit in the reverse. Okay, so this is your fake healer, if you will. This is the type of woman who wants to be seen as caring and nurturing and abundant. Okay, this woman has experienced, this archetype has experienced a lot of heartbreak, because she's set in a lot of denial. Okay, this is the business owner. Okay, whether that be online, well, hell, a business is a business. Okay, and because Ten of Pentacles is about your legacy. This is, building your legacy, building your brand, and things like that. Okay, this card is in the reverse. Okay, this archetypes. She's putting out there. She's projecting that she's making money and her business is thriving, and it's not. Okay, and she is refusing accountability here. Okay, she's refusing to stop all this faking. Okay, because all she cares about is her image. Now the chance for healing is here. That's why this Three of Swords is here. Okay, but how are you going to heal for real when you're faking healing? Okay, but this is the type of woman who doesn't think that she needs healing. Okay, she, because healing for this archetype means that she has to admit to a lot of things. She has to admit that she wasn't right about a lot of things. Okay, she has to admit to a degree that her business is not successful. Y'all see how bad the economy is. Okay, this may not. A lot of it may not be her fault. A lot of it may be her fault, because sometimes when you see things, taking a damn nosedive, when you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you need to do is put the damn shovel down. Okay, and like I said, this is all projection. Okay, because she's refusing. She's refusing accountability. Okay, she's refusing to see herself any other way than what she chooses to project out here, because she's been projecting it so damn long. Okay, until she fell for her own con. All right, I'm not saying at one point in time this was not a real empress. Okay, but shit happens. Okay, life happens. It happens for all of us. Okay, and she stayed in this fake empress energy for so long until the energy here is, she just keeps, this is the one who's just not going to give up the ghost. Okay, she needs to believe it herself. Okay, because if she believes it, she can make you believe it. All right, this one isn't really overextending herself or extending herself in the way that people think. Okay, and so This is the type of person where, you know, that because the Empress is the nurturer, you know, the Empress is the builder, you know, the creator. Okay, so this is the type of archetype who wants people to come to her. Okay, but she cannot hear, okay, or heal because she's unhealed. Okay, this type of person is only looking for some type of dirt and damage that she can use. Okay, so it won't make her own life look so shitty. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so now this next archetype is the opportunistic feminine. I call this is your gold digger. Okay, this one, no future. Okay, no ships coming in, access denied, everything's been blocked. Okay, and here she is childishly trying to manifest another timeline here. Okay, trying to manipulate something. This one thinks, see, this one is the one that thinks a new boo, okay, a new outfit, you know, a new, like a maybe a change of scenery or a new crew to hang out with, okay, will make her life seem a little less shitty, okay, will somehow unblock something. No, it won't, okay, because the action that the opportunistic feminine tries to take is petty, it's premature. This is ego, okay? This is how her path got blocked, okay? Using people, all right? And that's what this archetype does, okay? This one is the one that is driven driven by image. All of these archetypes are driven by image, okay? But this one is you know how in the Temptations movie, the David Ruffin scene, it's one of my favorite scenes where Otis is narrating and he says, "Whoever says money turns you into the person you really are must have had David in mind." That's this archetype, okay? They are good and humble, okay, when they're good and damn broke, okay? But the minute they find a man with money or some type of man with resources, some type of opportunity that they can latch on to, because they don't have the patience to build their own, okay? And the minute they start climbing to the top, the more you their ass you see, all right? This one likes to take shortcuts, okay? You know, and just yeah, that's what, because this one doesn't want to. It's not that they don't have, this one doesn't have the ability, okay? She just don't want to take the time, tired of struggling, that type of thing, okay? And the last archetype, this is your sneaky feminine, okay? See, this one is she planted seeds, okay, and is patiently waiting to see what grows, okay? Well, nothing grew, okay, because this one just got embarrassed publicly, okay? And this one is all about ego, all right? And the honest to goodness, okay, like seriously, like the best this we can do is some type of look at these pages, okay? This is immature, okay, you know, selfishness. A page ain't got nothing to give, okay? A page is just the start of a damn idea, okay? A page is literally, okay, just a spark, okay? There's no effort here, all right? This is just, see this sneaky shit? This is, okay, well, this didn't pan out the way that I want to, because this one's ego got hurt, okay? So this one didn't pan out, you know, the way that I wanted it to. So what can I scheme, okay, and plot on next, okay? And anchoring all three of these archetypes is the Knight of Cups in the reverse, okay? These type of women are very insecure, okay? They their choices, basically, for the most part, their choices reflect their ego, okay? Insecurity, greed, jealousy, image, okay? Addiction, some of them, unwillingness to evolve, okay? They chose the timeline that they're in, okay? Because these types literally, okay, truly believe that they are controlling, like they're controlling time and manipulating energy, okay? And how do they do this? See, your sneaky one, definitely, most definitely these two, okay? But I'm going to say specifically this one because the Seven of Swords were here. See, this is, see them seeds right there? See, your sneaky one, that's the one that's just going to try to get pregnant, okay? Okay, because it, like I said, it's all about image for all of them. But but with this one, it's about image and ease. Okay, but with this one, this is binding. Okay, you're gonna have to deal with me one way or the other because now I'm attached to you, and whatever you get attached to, I'm gonna benefit from. Okay, um, these are inconsistent. Okay, very delusional, very vain. Okay, um, and very shallow women. All right, they are hollow. Okay, um, fake emotion. They fake depth. Okay, they just want access without doing the work. All right, now I know. Listen, okay, like everybody's getting held accountable, okay, and all of these karmic timelines are collapsing, okay. Now, for the women under the sound of my voice who about to get 38 hot with me, take what applies, and I've said this before, Heifer, if the shoe fit, then I guess that's your damn shoe. I'm a woman too, so this is some shit I can speak on. Let me explain something to you guys, okay? When my ascension began, I've said this in many videos, Spirit told me to quit my job. That was one of the 3 things I had to do, and I didn't want to do it, okay. And for a minute, I didn't. And I began to suffer the consequences of that. Okay. Well, I did quit my job. And things in this 3D was good for a while until they weren't. Okay. Because my income had decreased significantly. Okay. And I'm a single parent here. Um, it's hard. Okay. You guys have no idea how hard it is breaking out of the damn matrix. Okay. I had to face judgment. Okay, I was under my family's judgment because they're very much in the matrix. Okay, you get up every day and you go to work. Okay, and no matter how your body breaks down on you or what the cost is to your mental health, well, use the damn insurance, take some pills or whatever the case. At least you got a job. Start drinking. You're drinking too much. Okay, quit smoking. Get you some weed. Okay, didn't they give you medicine for that? Okay, just the many doors and ins and outs of being in the matrix. Okay, Spirit had already told me. Okay, because I've been prepared for this all my life. I just didn't know it. Okay, I already knew what was going to happen. I was either going to get fired, okay, or I was going to have a damn mental breakdown. I didn't even realize how exhausted I was until maybe 3 weeks into my resignation. For 3 straight weeks, I couldn't do anything but just lay around and sleep because I was above me. I'm sorry. I was, to include many things, I was under spiritual attack and didn't know it, and I was under psychological warfare and didn't know it. Okay, my job was 2 weeks days and 2 weeks nights. Okay, and at the end of every year, they moved everybody around to different squads. Okay, that is damn psychological warfare. All right, it keeps, number one, your body cannot get used to that. Okay, I saw too many people come and go in my 3 year tenure at that job because of that damn schedule. Your body gets used to one, it's trying to flip, it's time to flip over to the next, and so on and so forth. Okay, we didn't have a whole lot of PTO to start with, and for whatever reason in this country, everybody the damn norm is 8 hours sick time. Okay, and that's just pretty much everywhere across the board. Okay, I don't care how much PTO you save up. All right, everybody, especially parents, are going to want to take the majority of their vacation in the summertime because that's when the kids are out of school. Okay, well, you can't negate the fact, you can't blame single people, people who don't have kids, for not wanting to take their vacation in the summertime too. It's the summertime. Damn, everybody want to be outside. It's when people travels. Okay, and so like it was a damn near an official act of damn Congress just to get a few days off in July. Okay, and then when you move people around like that, it prevents people from bonding. Okay, from sticking together, from creating the type of relationships and connections, okay, that can stand up to these bureaucracies and this piss poor ass management, okay, and all of these things. Okay, my old job was very well aware of that, very 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 well aware of that. Okay, they gave us, what, 3 raises in the 3 years I was there, and those were very significant raises. Okay, very very significant raises. Okay, By my second year, I could see what that was about, though. Okay, the average call center, I think I started working 911 at what, $15.30 some cents an hour. Okay, um, well, when I started there, I think it was in 2022. Okay, I think dispatchers were already up to over 20. Okay, so that was just, putting everybody where they belonged. Okay, and that was, just to start. I don't know what everybody else got, none of my business. Okay, I mean, the ones who were already there. Um, the and so, yeah, like I said, that second year I saw what it was about. Okay, you up the pay grade, all right, and they did. For the first solid year that I was there, those people, they hired nonstop. They truly, truly did. They hired, because this area is growing. They hired nonstop. Okay, well, people are not staying, right? Well, unfortunately, we still live in a good old boy system here. Okay, where they have to appear like they're doing the most, but when you get a look behind the curtain, it's actually it's all smoke and mirrors. They were doing the very least. Okay, and I do mean the very least. Okay, because conversations were had about that schedule, because that was the problem. They had already did eights in the past. Okay, they decided that 8-hour shifts didn't work because it it meant that people would have to work, what, 6 weeks before they got a weekend off. I said, so what? As long as the days off are back to back, okay, people have PTO. It is what it is. That's bullshit. Okay, um, that's because you have to give and take here. All right. Um, the reason for the 2 weeks days and 2 weeks nights was because certain dispatchers got a little bit too friendly with certain officers. Um, and when you constantly worked at night, well, that says, well, the night dispatchers um, didn't didn't they would lose the ability to know how to handle daytime tasks. Okay, and it was too much on the daytime work, is what I call bullshit again. Okay, because hospitals, everybody who's ever worked in a hospital, to include myself, okay, have day and night shifts. Okay, because patients can't be sent to hell home at night. Okay, so what do hospitals do? They offer a shift diff. Okay, and that is, and because and night, and typically night shifts, yeah, you don't work as hard. Okay, yeah, no, you don't have to, deal with calls about the courthouse and things that generally go on in the daytime, because every damn thing is closed. Okay, all bullshit. Okay, and then ultimately at the end of the day, okay, um the to me, to get that place, see, if you fix all of these things, okay, if you move over to, I would say, 410s, because people still get every other weekend off. Okay, you move over to 410s, um okay, and everybody gets their every other weekend off. Okay, that fixes the damn problem overnight, right? All right, so now you got people applying to be a 911 dispatcher just like that. Now, I'm not saying, okay, because that really is, it's a difficult job, okay, and it's a lot of output. And let me tell you something, okay, they actually do a very good job there explaining that, listen, people call here for help. They call here on the worst damn day of their lives, most of them. Okay, so yeah, they're not gonna be too happy about it. Okay, but if you're around the right coworkers, they can get you through that. Okay, you can't. It's 911 people. Okay, people are gonna call yelling and screaming. Yeah, and it is our jobs, okay, to diffuse and do what we can to help them. That's what we're there for. Okay, that can be taught. Okay, that type of build up, it does take time. Okay, but as far as many times as those people hired, okay, if they did that, if they fixed those things, okay, they would solve their problem practically overnight. All right, well, here's the part that's behind the curtain. Who the hell gonna pay for it? Okay, because I can promise you, the big wigs there, um yeah, they wasn't taking no pay cut for that. The money's got to come from somewhere. Okay, and they wasn't taking no pay cut for that. Y'all know how it is around here in a lot of these companies. Okay, you got people in these higher up positions who retired, came out of retirement, and should have been retired 10 damn years ago. Okay, so that people with families and damn student loan debt, okay, can have these positions. People who are a little bit younger, okay, experienced, okay. I'm not saying anything about the senior citizen community, okay, but so y'all know for a fact a lot of y'all don't need the damn money, okay. Um, And that's just an nth, okay, of what. Oh my God, and so many calls. I took so damn many calls. Okay, I would leave that place on days where I couldn't talk anymore. Okay, the muscle in my damn throat. I couldn't talk anymore. When I brought this up in a meeting one time, one of the dispatchers, she's a very sweet girl, and I got what she was doing, and I appreciated her input, but her thing was, well, yeah, me too. Okay, well, I'm not talking about you right now, I'm talking about me. And I didn't say it in those words, of course, but the way I explain it is that, okay, well, here's the thing. If I ask the guy next to me how he's doing, and he says, I didn't sleep very well, my back is hurting, and then when I turn around and say, well, I didn't sleep very well, and my back hurts too, okay, what did I just do to him? Fuck your feelings? Me too? No. Okay, so, and I was very eager. I was extremely eager. Okay, I know to this day I got praise and phone calls I don't know anything about. Y'all can keep that. Okay, but that's okay because I wasn't there for that. I was there to help, and I did that. Okay, but see, Spirit saw things that I didn't see. Spirit was in boardrooms, okay, and heard conversations that I didn't hear. Okay, Spirit brought it all to me later. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Now, so again, I was out of work. I've been out. I was out for before for this that was June 20th of this year. Okay, things got very tight. Okay, my point is, you guys, I could have fell into any one of these archetypes. Okay, I could have went back to work. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, I could have done a lot of things Spirit told me not to do. All right, I knew what the cost would have been. Okay, I would have just pulled myself right back into a karmic loop, and it just would have delayed the inevitable. But I simply, okay, and I'm not even gonna get on my twin flame, okay, because that's another thing I was told to do. Leave that mess alone, and I did. That was not easy for me. Okay, when you guys hear me say that the twin flame triggers you, triggers your every wound, triggers your every childhood wound, your abandonment issue. When they trigger every shadow. Okay, they trigger all of the darkness in you. They hurt you so bad until it forces you into healing. Okay, let me tell you something. That kind of chemistry would knock your daggone socks off. Okay, and I'd long since been tired of dealing with him. Okay, I was just stuck in the habit of it. Okay, um, and at that point, I did still love him. Okay, but please, I'd love you enough to leave you the hell right where you at. All right, I could have. I could have fallen back into all of that. I could have fallen back into in each and every one of this. Okay, I could have, I could have I could have been the performer feminine. I could have turned into the opportunistic. I could have turned into the little sneaky heifer. Okay, but I didn't because I simply chose not to. I didn't want to go backwards. Okay, when you are in a this was my spiritual awakening. Okay, let me tell you something. I had to believe in things that I could not see. You know how hard that is. Okay, you know what it's like to have people, all your life, especially in this deep south, tell you what God is and what God does, and you need to believe in all this, that, and the other. But then when you start to know God for yourself, okay, and people, I mean, literally, oh my God, and then I ain't even going to talk about how when I started with the tarot cards. Okay, that was a whole nother thing I had to learn. Energy does not lie. Y'all feel the truth. Okay, and but it was easier to demonize me. Okay, and to say terrible things about me. Okay, it's hard breaking out of the damn matrix, y'all. It's hard. Everybody does not survive the dark night of the soul. I've said this before. Okay, everybody cannot stand the weight of somebody else's judgment. Not that any one of us got a hell to put anybody in or take any one of us out of. Okay, um, but a lot of people cannot walk by faith and not by sight. Okay, if people cannot touch it, taste it, feel it, or hear it for themselves, they will not believe it. They don't, and that is hard. That is very hard. That's a very hard thing to live with. Okay, breaking out of this fucking matrix ain't no joke. But I did it. Okay, and each one of these feminines, each one of these karmics, y'all could have did it too. Okay, you chose not to. All right. So, like I said, timeline's collapsing. All of this is done. Okay, Miss Fake Performer, Miss Gold Digging Opportunist, okay, and Miss Sneaky McSneakerson. Yeah, all of this is done. Okay, manipulate. And another thing, ladies. Okay, let me tell you something. Nobody can manipulate time and energy. Okay, forcing a timeline, sneaking around and getting your behind pregnant. Okay, yeah, that actually does force timelines. Okay, and it does. Okay, manipulate. It does. It gives you the illusion. Okay, of manipulating energy and forcing someone else's timeline. Okay, causing a damn bind. Okay, so that you won't have to be by yourself. You won't have to struggle anymore, whatever the case. Okay, it all catches up, all of it. Okay, and y'all going to start to see what that looked like, because we are leaving the year of the snake. Okay, this year was difficult for a reason. We were all shedding, you guys. Okay, all of this shit that I just described, everything I've been talking about over the past year, yeah, all of this was a shedding cycle. Okay, 2026, January 1 of 2026 starts the year of the fire horse. Okay, those of us who have ascended and shedded and did what we're supposed to do, it is off to the damn races. And for the rest of y'all, okay, Key and Peele come to mind. Take your ass to Oshak Hennessy's office and tell him exactly what y'all did. All right, anybody wants to know more? You know what to do, but I just had to share that story with you guys. I had to share it because I didn't expect to pull any of this today, really. But I'm glad Spirit showed it to me, because it seems like, we're all, well, in any society, I don't think it's that we're all so hard on the men. I think it's that, because it just is what it is. If that's what you do, then that's you. Your actions make you who you are, not your words, okay? And so in a male opportunistic, ego-driven society, okay, yeah, a lot of y'all are pushed to the forefront, okay, because y'all are put in the forefront. That wasn't us. All right, so you guys take it easy. I know this is a long one. I will be uploading this video to YouTube. I may break it down to bits and pieces for TikTok. Y'all have a good one. Bless your heart so much. Have a good year. You guys will be seeing me again before 2026, so you'll be hearing my voice. I may do a video. It's time for me to get back on screen again, but we'll see. Bless your heart, love you. Bye.